Secondly, Microsoft specialists are on hand to answer your questions in real time. So feel free to type in your questions using the Q&A window and we'll answer them as soon as we can. Lastly, we've provided some additional resources for you to supplement your learning. You can access them by clicking on the links in this section. Without further ado, I'll hand over to our speakers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of Microsoft Security, Compliance and Identity Fundamentals, or also known as SC900. We have covered quite a few things in part 1, where you had the opportunity to check the different security compliance concepts such as Zero Trust and the Shared Responsibility model. You have also looked at different security solutions, such as Microsoft Entra ID, Network Security Groups, Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Today, we are going to start with the session 4, where we are going to discover two services, Microsoft Sentinel and Microsoft Defender XDR. We will then conclude the course with session 5, which focuses on compliance. We'll explain how to use Microsoft Purview to manage all your compliance needs, review audit information, and protect your organization. We have a lot to cover, so let's start. As a reminder, all the material for the session and the first one can be found on the learning path at aka.ms/sc900. Let's start with the session 4. This session is divided into two lessons. In the first lesson, we will describe capabilities of Microsoft Sentinel. And in the second lesson, we will describe threat protection with the Microsoft Defender XDR. Let's start with the first lesson. In this lesson, we will discover the concept of SIEM and SOAR. And then we will talk about Microsoft Sentinel. And finally, we'll discover a new AI security solution, which is Microsoft Security Copilot. Now, before we start talking about Sentinel, let's have an understanding of the concept of SIEM and SOAR. SIEM is a security, information, and event management. A SIEM system is a tool that an organization uses to collect data from across the whole estate, including infrastructure, software, and resources. It does analysis, looks for correlations or anomalies, and generates alerts and incidents, while SOAR is a security orchestration automated response. A SOAR system takes alerts from many sources, such as SIEM system. The SOAR system then triggers action-driven automated workflows and processes to run security tasks that mitigate the issue. To provide a comprehensive approach to security, an organization needs to use solutions that embraces or combine both, means SIEM and SOAR functionality. Now let's look at Microsoft's solution for SIEM and SOAR. Microsoft Sentinel is a scalable cloud-native solution that provides SIEM and SOAR. Microsoft Sentinel delivers intelligent security analytics and threat intelligence across the enterprise. With Microsoft Sentinel, you get a single solution for attack detection, threat visibility, proactive hunting, and threat response. This diagram shows the end-to-end functionality of Microsoft Sentinel. We first collect data and cloud scale across all users, devices, applications, and infrastructure, both on-prem and in multi-clouds. The second step, we detect previously uncovered threats and minimize false positives using analytics and unparalleled threat intelligence. The third step, we investigate threats with AI and hand suspicious activities at scale, tapping into decades of cybersecurity work at Microsoft. Finally, we respond to incidents rapidly with built-in orchestration and automation of common security tasks. Let's have a look to Sentinel in the portal. So let's log in into portal.azure.com, and I'll be using my credentials. And in search bar, I will write Sentinel to access to Microsoft Sentinel. Now from Microsoft Sentinel, I'm going to create a workspace. So I'm going to create a new workspace. I will put it in my resource group SC900. I give it a name. Let's say SC900 Log Analytic Workspace. Then I use AM and I go to role assignment, and I'm going to add a role assignment. I'm going to write Sentinel, and it's provide me all the existing Sentinel rules existing in this resource group. For example, we have the Microsoft Sentinel contributor. I click to view, and I will be able to see all the actions that will be able to do these rules. Once I select it, I could select members. So I select a user, for example, Chris Green, and then I review and assign the rule. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't really need it. I'm going just to get back to check that my workspace has been deployed, and I'll be able then to create my Sentinel using this workspace. Now I will create my Microsoft Sentinel. I will select my workspace, and I create my Sentinel to be able to use it. Now my Microsoft Sentinel is created. I could start doing amazing job with it. So let's start with Content Hub. So in here, in the Content Hub, I'm going to look for Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And once I found it, I will be able to install it. So I'm going to select it. And here it's going to give me a description and the possibility to install it. I will wait to be installed. I could read the description if I want to in that moment while I'm waiting of what this Content Hub is going to provide me. And I see it has one data connector. Now it's deployed. I could start to manage it by clicking on Manage. Here I have two installed content items. So I could now look to the content name, and I could also again look to the description. So I could select now one of the content, for example, Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And once I select it, I will be able to open the connector page, and then I have information related to the workspace, and does this integrate with Microsoft Defender for Cloud to make sure I have the read and write permissions. This is prerequisite that I needed. I have also prerequisites related to license. Once everything is set up, I'm going to connect it to my subscription. So I select my subscription and I change the SATU to connected. Now let's get back to Microsoft Defender for Cloud and look to detect core backup deletion activity from related security alerts. Now for this, I'm able to see that the rule type is scheduled, that data source is Microsoft Defender for Cloud. I could read the name, and I have the severity, which is medium. I have also a description of this, exactly what it does, and what is this query does that identify any effort by an attacker to delete backup containers, while also searching for any security alert that may be linked to the same activity. Now I create the rule. I give it a name, or I could keep the same name. I put the severity. I could select tactics and techniques. For example, I keep it the way it is, or I should add others that I want. Also, I have the set rule logics, and it provides me with the query rule that I could read it or modify it. I have incident settings, where I could enable the incident settings. I could configure alert grouping. I have the automated response, where I could put rules related to this response. Once it's done, I just have to review and create this rule in my Sentinel. Now, let's go back to Microsoft Sentinel. Let's refresh it. Here it is, my workspace. And I could look into the different menus that exist on my left. So I have the hunting, and in the hunting provide me what is it. So the Microsoft Hunt, I could read it from here. What also it does. So it enables users to seek out, understand threat and malicious behavior in my organization. I could see how does it work. I go to queries. Here there is no queries that found, but I could understand what is this queries for from the text that is written in here. Now let's look to meter ATTCK matrix, and I have here the matrix that I could look for it and to see how Sentinel is helping me with this matrix. I could look also to community, and here I have cybersecurity insight and update from Microsoft Research. So I have different reports links that I could access to. I have blogs, I have forums that I access to from in here. I could also click on links, and I will be redirected to tech community Microsoft blogs to read more information. I have also the analytics section, where I could see my 2 alerts that we created previously, and one is medium, the second one is height. I could see also information related to this rules, so the name, the rule type, Scudlet or Fusion. I could see the statue also if I want to, techniques, source names, and other informations. Let's move to automation, and here I don't have automation rules. I could understand what is this automation, where it's needed to, by reading from here. I could create also automation rule if I want to. I will just give it a name. I will give it a trigger, so either update or create, incident provider, Sentinel Defender, which it contains, what it does contain, and then I put the action that I'm going to do, like run playbook if I want to. Also, I could fix rule expiration, and then the automation will be created. Then I have workbooks too. So I could read here what is workbooks that enable us to get instant visualization and analysis of data. And I could also add a workbook if I want to. That's it for this demo. Thank you. This tool, Microsoft Security Copilot. Microsoft Security Copilot is the first and only generative AI security product to help defend organizations at machine speed and scale. It's an AI-powered security analysis tool that enables analysts to respond to threats quickly, process signals at machine speed, and assess risk exposure in minutes. The center of Microsoft Security Copilot is the prompt bar that allows security analysts to ask questions in natural language. We have three primary use cases: security posture management, incident response, and security reporting. Let's look to the first use case, security posture management. Security Copilot delivers information on anything that might expose an organization to a known threat. It then gives the analysts prescriptive guidance on how to protect against those potential vulnerabilities. While the second use case, incident response, Security Copilot can quickly surface an incident, and then Security Copilot can then guide the analyst through the response and remediation steps with guided recommendation. Finally, security reporting. Security Copilot can deliver customizable reports that are ready to share and easy to consume, allowing analysts to focus more on high-value tasks pertinent for securing the organization. Let's move to the next lesson and talk about how Microsoft Defender XDR helps you with threat protection. Microsoft Defender XDR is an enterprise defense suite that protects against sophisticated cyber attacks. The Microsoft Defender XDR suite protects your email and collaboration with Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Protects also your endpoints with Microsoft Defender for Endpoints. Protects your application with Microsoft Defender for Cloud App. In addition, it protects your identities with Microsoft Defender for Identity. Moreover, we have Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management that delivers continuous access visibility, intelligent risk-based assessment, and built-in remediation tools. Let's look into each of these services. Let's start with Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 is a seamless integration into your Office 365 subscription that provides protection against threats that arrive in emails, links like URLs, attachment, or collaboration tools such as SharePoint, Teams, and Outlook. Defender for Office 365 provides real-time views of threats and tools you can use to stay ahead of potential threats. It comes with 5 features. First, a preset security policies that allow you to apply protection features to users based on Microsoft recommended settings. The second feature is threat protection policies. This set the appropriate level of protection for your organization. First, a preset security policies. These allow you to apply protection features to users based on Microsoft recommended setting. The second feature is threat protection policies. This set the appropriate level of protection for your organization. The third feature is threat investigation and response capability. These use leading-edge tools to investigate, understand, simulate, and prevent threats. The fourth feature is automated investigation and response capabilities. These save time and effort investigating and mitigating threats. Finally, you have reports. This helps you to monitor Microsoft Defender for Office 365 performance in your organization. Another great feature of Microsoft Defender is endpoint protection. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint is a platform designed to help enterprise network protect endpoints, including laptops, phones, tablets, personal computers, access point, routers, and firewall. It does so by preventing, detecting, investigating, and responding to advanced threats. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint has many functionality. Let me explain to you some of them. It has core Defender vulnerability management that use a risk-based approach to discovery, assessment, prioritization, and remediation of endpoint vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. We have attack surface reduction too, that provides the first line of defense in the stack. By ensuring configuration settings are properly set and exploit mitigation techniques are applied, the capability resists attacks and exploitation. It includes also the next generation protection. Think of this as your next generation antivirus, or a little bit more. Moreover, it includes an endpoint detection and response that provides advanced attack detections that are near real-time and actionable. This is only some of the features. You could read more about them in the documentation in Microsoft Learn. Moving into the cloud increases the flexibility for your staff and your employees, right? However, it can add different complexities and new challenges for your organization. You have to think of keeping your apps secure while you are allowing people to access them from different parts of the world. To help you with that, we have Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. This delivers full protection for SaaS applications, helping you monitor and protect your cloud app data. It has a fundamental cloud access security broker functionality. This acts as a gatekeeper to broker real-time access between your enterprise users and the cloud resources they use. Also, it has a SaaS security posture management. This feature enables security teams to improve the organization's security posture. In addition, it has advanced threat protection as part of Microsoft's Extended Detection and Response solution, XDR, enabling powerful correlation of signals and visibility across the full kill chain of advanced attacks. It provides with app-to-app protection, extending the core threat scenarios to auth-enabled apps that have permission and privileges to critical data and resources. Why not log us into the portal and take a look at Microsoft Defender for Cloud App? First, let's connect to admin.microsoft.com. Once we access it, I have in the show all. I will go to security, redirect me to the security.microsoft.com. I access to the cloud app, and I have inside it the cloud discovery. So accessing to the cloud discovery, I could have or see my dashboard, and I have the apps, the IPs, I have other informations. I have 282 apps. I have 2010 IP addresses. I have 457 users. I could see also the traffic, upcoming and down. I have the app categories. I could see also the risk level, from which traffic. I could look at the discovered app. So there is few of them, the top entities, the top users, and also the different location. Then in the discovered app, I could look at the list of the discovered app. So for example, I have Microsoft Dynamics 365. I could access it. I could see the risk score. I could see the tag, the traffic, the upload, transaction, users, IP address, and more. And importantly, the actions that I have, either unsanctioned or sanctioned tag that is added to this cloud app. Accessing Microsoft Dynamics 365 will be giving me more information related to the score, users, traffic, IPs. I could have also top entities. And let's get back. And I could also possibly have more information related to this risk score and to these applications, in details explaining why this application has really high risk score. So we see that is respecting everything. Let's sort it in a reverse order to see an application that has a really low score. So we see, for example, File Dropper, it has 2. And now here I understand why. So it's not respecting a lot of compliance and security needed. And that's why the risk score is so low. Now I could apply a kind of filter to see unsanctioned or sanctioned applications. So I just click from here. And if I want to, I could make it by risk score. So you could see application by risk score. Or I could also choose a compliant risk factor, for example, COBIT, to see what are the applications that are respecting that. I could also look to IP addresses. So I see the top 100 IP addresses that exist. Traffic also related to it, the upload, transaction, the last seen. If I go to users, also I could see the top 100 users that are using my applications. I have also information by traffic and transactions. If I go also to Cloud App Catalog, I could have a look into the Cloud App existing. And we have, for example, Yammer. We have Microsoft Cloud Word Online. I could search for an app with a name. I could select it by the same filter that we have seen previously. And I could select one of them and see how it is behaving related to score. So let's, for example, look for social network. And it's going to show me the social network cloud app that exists and the risk score related to it. Now let's remove this filter and let's go to policies. Let's go to activity logs. In the activity log, I could have all the activities by IP address, location, devices, and date. I could see the app, I could see the activity, what happened, is it search or other thing. I could also apply filter by selected app, by users, and also I could select by raw IP addresses. I could look by activity. I could select by delete, for example, or create, and see what activities are related to these actions. I could also look by location, so I see different countries that I could select from. We have also the policies section, where I could look at policy management. And in the policy management, I could see different policies that exist with also the severity categories that I have for this policy, and I could see compliance and other. I could also select by policy name, by type, by statute, or by severity high, medium, or low. And I could select also by a category like threat detection. I could create a policy, so for example an activity policy. I will be able to select a template, and once I select template, it's going to provide the information related to it. I could change them, the severity, the category. Also, the rest of the information could be changed accordingly to what I want to apply to this policy. I have also activities matching. I could see all the list of activities that was created, and then I will be able to create my policy. Once I created, I could see it listed in all the policies that are applied, and I could see the threat detection related to these policies. We have the policy template that is going to provide me with the list of templates that I could implement. Now let's get back to Cloud Discovery. So in Cloud Discovery, I have this menu action where I could create Cloud Discovery snapshot report, where I could bring my report. So I have just to add a report name and bring the source, for example, Barracuda or Checkpoint or Cisco. Once I do so, all my information will be added after I upload the traffic logs related to my Cloud Discovery activity. Microsoft Defender for Identity is a cloud-based security solution. It uses your on-prem Active Directory data called signals to identify, detect, investigate advanced threats, compromised identities, and malicious insider actions directed at your organization. Microsoft Defender for Identity monitor and profile user behaviors and activities. Then it identifies anomalies with adapted built-in intelligence. Defender for Identities gives insights on identity configuration and suggested security best practices. Through security reports and user profile analytics, Defender for Identities helps reduce your organizational attack surface, making it harder to compromise user credentials and advance an attack. In addition, Defender for Identity identifies suspicious activities and advanced attacks across the cyber attack kill chain, from reconnaissance, compromised credentials, and lateral movement. Finally, Defender for Identity is designed to reduce general alert noises, providing only relevant important security alerts in a simple, real-time organizational attack timeline. It allows you to stay focused on what matters. Now let's talk about Microsoft Defender vulnerability management. This delivers assess visibility, intelligent assessments, and built-in remediation tools for Windows, macOS, Linux, Android, iOS, and network devices. Like we can see in the image, we have three pillars. First, continuous access discovery and monitoring. Defender vulnerability management uses built-in and agentless scanners to continuously monitor and detect risk in your organization. Even when devices aren't connected to the corporate network, it can do that. Then, we have risk-based intelligent prioritization. Risk-based intelligence prioritization focuses on emerging threats to align the prioritization of security recommendations with vulnerabilities currently being exploited in the world and emerging threats that pose the highest risk. It also pinpoints active breaches and protects high-value assets. Finally, remediation and tracking. Remediation and tracking enable security administrators and IT administrators to collaborate and seamlessly remediate issues with built-in workflows. Let's move to Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence. This is a powerful tool that helps you streamline your security workflows and protect your organization from cyber threats. So let's talk a little bit about how to use it to access featured articles, vulnerability articles, and dataset. First, we have the Threat Intelligence homepage, where you can see the latest featured articles from Microsoft, which provide insight into threat actors, toolings, attacks, and vulnerabilities. We have also articles where I can see more details about the attack or attacker profiled. Finally, we have datasets. Dataset that Defender Threat Intelligence offers and where Microsoft collects, analyzes, and indexes Internet data to assist us in detecting and responding to threats. Also prioritizing incidents and proactively identifying the infrastructure of adversaries that are targeting our organization. The Microsoft Defender portal. This combines protection, detection, investigation, and response to devices, emails, and collaboration, cloud app in a central portal. It provides a view to the security health of your organization and helps security admin and operation teams manage and protect their organization. So let's have a look at it. Let's do a demo. Now we are in the Microsoft 365 Defender. So I could see all the information related to this service. So I have the secure score. I have information related to the secure score. So I am in around 40% of the secure score. You could see also the activity related to that. I could remove this section if I want to. Also, if I click on secure score, it's going to provide me the same menu that is on the left and provide me more information related to the secure score. I have also other dashboard or cards that I could add to my dashboard. Here I have all the cards that already exist. I could move them around if I want to, and also showing them the way I want. So I have different cards. I could see SaaS app, threat analytics, attack simulation, device and risk. So they are all here. Let's organize them a little bit. And I could go also see the different menus on the left. So I have incident alert, hunting, threat intelligence, secure score. And in the secure score, I could see my score. I could include what I want to include it, planet score, current license, achievable score. I could see the breakdown point related to this score, top recommended actions to improve my score, that I could access them from here. I could see the actions to review. So if I exit to recommended actions, I have a list of all the recommended actions with also the statute, the name, and also if I select one, I have a description of this action, how is the statute of implementation, and more details about the point to achieve, and steps one by one how to implement these recommendations, with also links to documentations. Getting back, let's move to history. So I could see the evolution of my score during the last period. I could see by date, activity. I could see also the resulting point. I could have information related to category, and I could also filter it with what I want to see from this history. Also, I have metrics and trends that show me my secure score zone. I could see the score changes that happened. It increased by 11%. And I could see different trends related to my secure score. We have just finished this session. I just wanted to do a quick recap of what we have discussed so far. We have learned about two services, Microsoft Sentinel and Microsoft Defender XDR, and all of its different components. Remember that all of these materials is available for free on the learning path, and you can find the full learning path at aka.ms/SC900. We are going to take a quick 10-minute break, give you a chance to get up, stretch your legs, maybe grab a glass of water, and we are going to come back here for our last session. See you soon! Welcome back from the break. I hope you have had the chance to step away from the computer for a minute. I know, being in the virtual training can be a lot, but don't worry, we are almost done. So are you ready to go for our last session? For our last session, we will discuss the various internal features of Microsoft solutions that can help you support your compliance efforts. In this session, we have 5 different lessons that we are going to look at. Starting with looking at Microsoft Service, Trust Portal, and privacy capabilities, we'll move then talk about the capabilities of Microsoft Purview. We'll cover compliance management, information protection, data lifecycle management, and data governance and audit. As a reminder, all the information we have discussed is available on this learning path, aka.ms/SC900. Microsoft Trend on Trust, it's not just a word. And let me prove it. Here, you will explore the Service Trust Portal for content on how Microsoft delivers on our commitment of trust. You will also learn about Microsoft Priva, a solution to help meet privacy goals. One of my favorite things I have heard when it comes to data is that data is the new oil. It's really important that you understand when you are defining your organization's or cloud environment, where is your data going to live? And also, what laws and regulations do you need to consider when moving data from one place to another? At Microsoft, we use what's called the Service Trust Portal. The Service Trust Portal gives you access to a variety of tools and informations about Microsoft security, privacy, and compliance practices. And if you are responsible for any of compliance or governance within your organization, I highly recommend you that you make this portal one of your best friends. Because inside the Trust Portal, you are going to find audit reports and other compliance-related information associated with Microsoft Cloud services. Trust Portal users can download audit reports produced by external auditors, and they can gain insight from Microsoft-authored white papers that provide details on how Microsoft Cloud services protect your data and how you can manage cloud data security and compliance for your organization. It's going to be a really useful tool to understand what is your responsibility as a customer and what is Microsoft's responsibility when it comes to compliance and data governance in the cloud. Why not go ahead and visit it in the portal? So I'm going to access to aka.ms/stp. Then it's going to direct me to the Service Trust Portal, where I could see my Service Trust Portal. I could see certification, regulation, and standards. I have ISO, I have SOC, I could see GDRP, and more of certification and regulation. I have also reports, white papers, and artifacts that exist in here. I have industry and region resources they could access to. And I have the resources for my organization. Now, I'm going just to sign in. I'm going to access to the ISO regulation, and it gives me the description, the International Organization of Standardization. I have the applicable document, so I could select from here one of them. I have also in the options to download. I could also save this to my library. Once I save this to my library, I'm going to subscribe to this regulation, and I could select when I will be notified. For example, I want to be notified monthly when there is changes related to this regulation. Once I have done so, I could go to my downloaded history to see if I downloaded any file. I haven't done so. And in my library, I could see this was added to my profile. So I see the document, and there is this document was added to my once I added this series, I could go to my library, and I will see that it has been added to my profile. So in here, I have it added to my profile, and then I could decide either to download it or I could remove it from my library. I have also download history if I downloaded any file, so I could see here in the download history, but I didn't download any file, so I could not see anything in this history. And getting back to the service trust portal, I could also access to report, white paper, and artifact. For example, I could access to BCP DR, which is Business, Community, and Disaster Recovery. Also, I have document that I could add them to my libraries. Moreover, I could come in here in industry and regional resources. I could go to financial services, and I could see all the available regions. Here I have Asia and Pacific, I have the Europe, I could see also Middle East and Africa, North America and Canada, etc. We have just visited the Service Trust portal, where we can find our privacy statement. One thing that's important to us is that all our products and services work with confidence. And the way we focus on our privacy and building our trust is that we have created 6 privacy principles that we use when it comes to making decisions about data. This helps us determine how and why we collect data and then, ultimately, what we do with it. Let's talk about these 6 principles. First, you are in control. As a customer, you will always have full control over your privacy. And you have tools to help you make the best choice for you and your organization. And this leads directly to the second one, the principle of transparency. We'll always tell you what data is collected, why we collect it, and what we will do with it. This way, you can make informed choices when it comes to what data you share and what you don't on the cloud. All the data that we collect, you can be assured that it is protected with our strongest security and encryption. And we are going to provide you with the strong legal protections. This is our legal right as a customer. And when it comes to the data that we collect, you don't have to worry about whether it's going to be used for targeted marketing. So this means that anything you say in an email or in team chat won't be magically pop up as an advertisement later. At the end of the day, the reason we collect data is to provide you with a better service and really to make your overall experience better. What this means is that we will only collect data when we can use it to improve your experience with any Microsoft product. Now, if you want to look at all the different privacy principles or a full privacy policy, you can see it in the Trust Center. We have another great tool called Microsoft Priva. The important things to keep in mind is that the Service Trust Portal is available to anyone, whether they are a Microsoft customer or not. But Microsoft Priva will only be available to customers with a Microsoft 365 role of a global admin or similar role with the appropriate permissions. Microsoft Priva will give you this overview of your organization's performance against its compliance standards. Priva capabilities are available through two solutions: Priva Privacy Risk Management and Priva Subject Right Requests. Priva Privacy Risk Management helps you to understand the data your organization stores in Microsoft 365 services by automating the discovery of personal data assets and providing visualization of essential information. You can see an overview dashboard of your data trends and activities, as well as a data profile page that shows the type of location of your personal data. Priva Privacy Risk Management also helps you reduce the privacy risk in your Microsoft 365 environment by setting up policies that detect and remediate issues such as overexposed data, cross-border transfers, or unused data. You can easily monitor and enforce these policies across your organization and take action when needed. Priva Subject Right Requests helps you handle inquiries from individuals who want to review or manage their personal data. It provides workflow, automation, and collaboration capability that help you search for subject data, review your findings, collect the appropriate files, and produce reports. Next lesson. In this lesson, we will explore the Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal, the portal for organizations to manage their compliance needs. We will learn about the Compliance Manager and Compliance Score, which can help organizations manage, simplify, and improve compliance across their organization. Compliance is a key concern for many organizations that store and process sensitive data. You may face challenges such as understanding your compliance posture, finding the right solution for your compliance scenarios, and staying on top of the compliance alerts. Microsoft Purview helps you meet these challenges with the Compliance Portal, a tool that brings together all the tools and data that are needed to help you understand and manage your organization's compliance needs. The Compliance Portal provides you with the Compliance Scorecard. This card shows you how well your organization is complying with the relevant standards and regulations. The portal came also with a Solution Catalog card. This card links you to a collection of integrated solutions that are used to manage end-to-end compliance scenarios across three areas: information protection, and data lifecycle management, insider risk management, and discovery and response. Finally, the portal has an active alerts card. This card shows you a summary of the most active alerts in your organization, such as data breaches, policy violation, or suspicious activities. Microsoft Purview Compliance Manager is a feature in Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal that helps you and help the admin to manage an organization's compliance requirement with greater ease and convenience. Compliance Manager can help organizations through their compliance journey, from taking inventory of data protection risks to managing the complexity of implementing controls, staying current with regulation and certification, and also reporting to auditors. Compliance managers help simply compliance and reduce risk by providing pre-built assessment based on common regional and industry regulations and standards, and workflow capabilities that enable admin to complete risk assessment efficiently for the organization. Now the compliance score measures progress in completing recommended improvement actions within controls. The score can help an organization to understand its current compliance posture. It also helps organizations to prioritize actions based on their potential to reduce risk. So what is the difference between compliance manager and the compliance score? Compliance Manager is an end-to-end solution in Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal to enable admins to manage and track compliance activities, while the Compliance Score is a calculation of the overall compliance posture across the organization. The Compliance Score is available through Compliance Manager. Compliance Manager gives admin the capability to understand and increase their compliance score, so they can ultimately improve the organization's compliance posture and help it to stay in line with the compliance requirement. The overall compliance score is calculated using scores that are assigned to actions. Actions come in two types: your improved actions, which is the actions that the organization is expected to manage, and Microsoft actions, and these actions are managed by Microsoft for the organization. Now let's move to the portal and see Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. So from the admin center microsoft.com, I will go to the compliance from here. It's going to redirect me to compliance.microsoft.com, where I have different solutions. So I have here talking about Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. I have different cards that I could see. I could see from them high-risk app, communication compliance. I could access them also from the left menu, communication compliance and high-risk apps. I could also see the compliance score. So I have 44% of compliance score. I could access the compliance manager from the left menu too. I could organize my cards, see them. I could see the users, the shared files, the solution catalog. I could here add more cards, but I already have all of them. I could decide to remove one if I want to, and then I will be bringing it back. Then here let's look at the different menu on the left. We have different solutions, so like e-discovery, information barriers. I could also customize navigation to show only part of the solutions, not all of them, if I want to. Let's look into the Compliance Manager now. So in the Compliance Manager, it helped me to measure my progress in completing actions to help reduce risk around my company. So my score is 43%. I could see the key improvement actions with the impact related to point. I could see that solution that affect my score. I could see the compliance score breakdown, information one by one related to privacy, control, governance, etc. Let's see the improvement actions first. So here I will see of the list of possible improvement actions. For example, here, enable self-service password is provide me with, I have 7 to 27 achieved. I could do regulation, could see groups. I could also have more information related to solution applied, any assessment, categories, test, and also the type of actions and to who is assigned. Let's select, for example, enable self-service password reset, and here is going to redirect me to the menu, redirect me to the menu where I could do the enabling of the self-service password reset. I could see also more details about it, how to implement it, any evidence related to that. I could add document or links, and also I could see any related controls to this self-service password. Now solutions also, so I have different solutions that I could do, like attack simulation training. I could read the description, I could see the current score, the expected scores, and also actions that I could do. I could look to assessment, and here I have the different assessment that are pending update. I could add an assessment by selecting a regulation, and then I should add the assessment name, the group to apply it. I could select the service. For example, here I have Microsoft 365. I could add another service with the name, and once I do so, I could create the assessment. Next, I have regulation, and the regulation, I have the different regulation existing. So I could see the included template as also premium templates. For example, here I select one of the premium templates, which is standard for safeguarding customer information, where I could see details related to this. I could also do an assessment by putting information too. I have also customer information safeguard that I could see it from this menu. Also, we have the alerts. Like I see here, I have one alert with the severity medium. I could see the event, and I could filter if I want to. If I have many alerts, I could filter them, and then I could put an action related to the alert. For example, I could assign it to or send an email, or I could also see the event logs. Information protection and data lifecycle management in Microsoft Purview helps organizations classify, protect, and retain their data where it lives and where it goes. In this lesson, we will learn about data classification capabilities, data loss prevention, and records management. Your organization has all kinds of different data that it needs to protect. It could be the organization's finance, industry secrets, or even the personal information of its customers or employees. We have a tool called Microsoft Purview Information Protection, and its main job is to discover, classify, and protect sensitive and business-critical content through its lifecycle across your organization. Microsoft Purview Data Lifecycle Management manages your content lifecycle using solutions to import, store, and classify business-critical data so you can keep what you need and delete what you don't. Microsoft Purview Information Protections and Microsoft Purview Data Lifecycle Management work together to classify, protect, and keep your data where it normally lives and wherever it goes. With tools like trainable classifiers, you will be able to know your data by understanding your data landscape and identify important data across on-prem, cloud, and hybrid environment. Then you'll be able to protect your data by applying flexible protection action, including encryption, access restriction, and visual marking. In addition, using data loss prevention policies and endpoint data loss prevention enable organizations to avoid data loss. Finally, capabilities such as retention policies, retention labels, and records management enable your organization to govern their data. We have already had the opportunity to take a look at Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal when it comes to the different compliance standards that your organization may need to adhere to. But we also have a tool that can help you classify your data. If you wanted to protect any kind of sensitive data like credit card numbers, bank account numbers, or let's say social security numbers, all of these have a specific pattern. In the Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal, you can train the system to classify this type of data and then prevent it from being shared outside the organization or prevent it from being shared with the wrong people. In addition, the way classifiers work is through the use of artificial intelligence. So you can take advantage of things like pre-trained classifiers that are ready to use to recognize certain type of data like profanity or even credit card number. And also you can train your own classifier to recognize your organization's unique contract templates. When you are categorizing data in your organization, you can actually use the different drill down to see what different data is being categorized and how it's being used. You can drill down into any type of tag and see where the item is stored, the last time it was opened, or who saw it. And you can also use the Activity Explorer to see when labels have been edited and by whom. Now, another way to protect your organization's data is through different labels and label policies. Inside the Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal, you can enable labeling of your documents or emails. You have full control over your labels and you can customize them to meet your organization's needs. Some of the most common ones I have seen are things like personal, public, confidential, or highly confidential. And the good thing about this is that they are stored in the plain text part of the metadata, so that if you have third-party apps using that data, they can read it and then apply their own proactive actions. And when you apply the label, it will follow the document or email as it moves. So that means it's still protected, even if it changes hands. After you have created your labels, you can then create label policies. Label policies create a structure around what can happen when a document is labeled a certain way. So let's take the example if you have a project or a team that is working on something that is highly confidential. You can create a label policy that will only allow members of the team to view that document. And if they wanted to remove that label, you may need a justification to be sent to your admin before the change happens. You can also decide to publish the label to specific users, distribution groups, Microsoft 365 groups, in Azure Active Directory, and more. Let's take a look at how to create labels in Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. So now we're going to log into admin.microsoft.com, accessing to compliance that is going to redirect us to Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. we are going to look into information protection. And in information protection, we have here the overview where we could see recommended for our organization. We could see the top sensitivity labels applied to our content. I could see the top activities detected, location, information protection resources, and also protected meetings, encryption, and any built-in labeling that I have. Let's move to labels. And in here I have a list of labels: personal, public, general. And in general I could see all that I have. There is a list. I have a list of confidential. I have also confidential finance that I could see and use in it and reading more about the information related to it. Let's edit this label. So I'm going to click in edit. So I could change the name. Here it's confidential finance. This is the displayed name, the description. It says it's automatically labeled because it contained confidential data. I have the description of the admin. I could put a color for the label, for example, green. So you could see here, define the scope for this label, and it applied directly to items such as files, emails, meetings, and also SharePoint site, Teams, Power BI items. So I could select, for example, files and emails, or I could add meetings if I need. Then I decide which protection setting for this labeled items. So I apply or remove encryption, also apply content marking. Then I have related to encryption. So you could remove the encryption if the file or email happen. I could assign permission now. I could also use access content and decide never or a number of days after label is applied. I could allow offline access if I want to, and I could see the users and groups that I'm selecting in here as co-author and viewers. I could assign also permissions from here. Next I have content marking, where I could add headers, footers, and watermark to the content. So here I'm interested to watermark. If I want, I could add headers and footers, but I'm not going to do so. Then I have the auto labeling of files and email, where I could add the auto labeling for this by detecting content that match these different conditions that I'm going to select, providing all the information related to these conditions. Next, I will define protection setting for group and sites and apply the label to channel meeting if I need to. So I could also do the auto labeling for my data asset, and I could also review it now and save the label. Now I already have one applied, so I'm not going to save it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move to label policy, and in here I have different label policy from confidential financial policy, for example. I could edit this policy. I could choose the administrative unit when to apply it. And we explained what it is administrative unit before. And then I could move on to publish it to users and groups. I'm going to publish it to users and group by selecting these users and groups. Then I have the policy settings, where I could configure setting for labels, including in this policy, users must provide a justification to remove all label or lower its classification. I could also require users to apply labels to their email, Power BI, or a custom help page. Then I apply my default label to document. So I select the default document. Then I have the email. I have also how to apply it to meeting and calendars and how to apply it to Power BI. Then I look to the name of the policy and description. Once I do, I could submit it. Now, once I have done so, I could go to my Word. I create a blank document, and then I will name it, for example, label testing. Now I move to sensitivity, and I get to confidential finance, and I will be going to write a small text and then view my document in read and view, and here it is, my watermark that I have configured with the confidential finance label. Many of the tools I'm showing you here today are designed to help protect your data. I'm sure you have heard in the news at one time or another of an organization that is experiencing some type of data theft and data loss and terrible consequences. In the Microsoft Purview, there are a number of different tools that are available to help you with your data loss prevention plan. The way data loss prevention policies work is by using a series of conditions and actions applied to specific locations, like your SharePoint or Exchange. So let's say, for example, that you have a data loss prevention strategy in place to prevent users from sharing any type of sales contracts. The policy would run in the background and can identify any document or email that includes contract numbers or customer information. Then, based on this condition, it will trigger an action to automatically block that email from going out. There are also data loss prevention tools where you can look for any kind of suspicious activity like user copying or printing sensitive data. This way, you can take that data and create policies to prevent it. These data loss prevention tools are here to help you no matter what Microsoft 365 app you use: Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, or SharePoint. So, we know there are tools out there to prevent data from leaving your organization when it's not supposed to. But what about data that you no longer need to keep? Can you imagine if organizations have to keep all data forever? It would be foolish to try to manage everything. In addition, imagine the potential risk of data theft become unbelievable. And that's why your region's industry retention policy will guide your organization on what should be retained and for how long. And also, when it's time to delete, how to securely do it. So very similar to some of the other labels that we have discussed so far, you can create retention labels and retention policies. So let's say I have a SharePoint site for my team and the information in it needs to be kept for a minimum of 5 years. I can apply a retention policy to that SharePoint site, and that policy would apply to all items on that site. But what if there was an item on this site that needed to be kept for 10 more years. Then, this is where I can apply a label to that specific item for 10 years, and the 10 years label will trump this 5 years policy. And when you apply a retention policy or retention label, it won't force users to keep those files on their own computers or desktop. If a user deletes a file that has a retention policy on it, a copy of that document is kept in a secure location that doesn't impact any of your users. Now, there are documents that your organization needs to keep for legal or business obligation. So sometimes you are going to need a case management tool. Inside the Microsoft Purview records management capabilities, there are different ways in which records management can be used across an organization. It could help enabling administrators and users to manually or automatically apply retention and deletion actions for documents and emails, or enabling site admins to set default retention and deletion actions for all content in the SharePoint library, folder, or document set. When an administrator labels something as record, they can block certain activities such as deleting the document or editing it, or they can track the document's path and all related activities. There are also retention tools that can mark and retain the record for retention and then retain the proof for disposal at the end of the retention period. The Microsoft Purview Governance Portal provides a unified data governance service that helps you manage your on-prem, multi-cloud, and software as a service data. The Microsoft Purview Governance Portal allows you to create holistic, up-to-date map of your data landscape with automated data discovery, sensitive data classification, and end-to-end data lineage. In addition, it enables data curators to manage and secure your data estate and empower data customers to find valuable, trustworthy data. To do so, it is empowered with different tools. DataMap captures metadata about enterprise data to identify and classify sensitive data. The data catalog quickly and easily finds relevant data using a search experience with filters based on various lenses such as glossary, terms, classification, sensitivity label, and more. To do so, it is empowered with different tools. We have DataMap. These capture metadata about enterprise data to identify and classify sensitive data. Then, we have Data Catalog, which quickly and easily finds relevant data using a search experience with filters based on various lenses such as glossary terms, classifications, sensitivity label, and more. In addition, by using Data Estate Insight, data officers and security officers can get a bird's eye view and understand at a glance what data is being actively scanned, where sensitive data is, and how it moves. The application provides actionable insight into the organizational data estate, catalog usage, adoption, and processes. Also, Microsoft Purview Data Policy is a set of central cloud-based experiences that help you manage access to data sources and datasets securely and to scale. Finally, we have data sharing. This enables organizations to share data securely both within your organization or across organizations with business partners and customers. In session 1, we spent a lot of time looking at the different risks and bad actors outside of our organization. In this lesson, I want to talk about the risk that came from within an organization. And here's the thing, it may not always be malicious. Sometimes it may just be an oversight by a former employee or contractor. In this lesson, you will learn how Microsoft Purview enables organizations to identify, analyze, and remediate internal risk before they cause harm. I think it's important to understand when it comes to insider risk, there is a whole branch of different things that can happen. You may have sensitive data accidentally leaked. Maybe there is some sort of fraud or insider trading. All of this put your organizations at risk. So, inside Microsoft Purview, using insider risk management, you can detect, investigate, and take action to mitigate internal risk in your organization for different scenarios, including data theft by employees, the intentional or unintentional leak of confidential information, offensive behavior, and more. There are a number of different policy templates that you can choose from, or you can create your own to alert you when some type of suspicious activity occurs. Then they can guide you through the investigation and corrective actions. Sometimes it's just a matter of reminding an employee of the policy, or it may require a full investigation. Where it gets interesting, it may not always be something like someone uploading a file. This can be an inappropriate conversation on company platform, like Yammer and Teams. Inside the Microsoft 365, there are tools to help you monitor communication within your organization and ensure that everyone is following company guidelines. Communications compliance is a powerful tool that can help maintain and protect your people, data, and organization. Communication is incredibly important within an organization, but sometimes you need to restrict communication between teams within an organization. This may be for legal reasons or perhaps to protect employees' data. You can set up information barriers inside your Microsoft 365 applications in case you need to prevent group or employees from interacting with each other. Organizations may need to identify, collect, and/or audit information for legal, regulatory, or business reasons. In this lesson, we will learn how the e-discovery and audit capabilities of Microsoft Purview help organizations find relevant data quickly. I hope now that this never happens to you, but there may be a time when your organization is involved in some type of litigation. And usually when that happens, you need to pull some type of information for evidence. Now, the good news is that this information is usually in electronic form. Maybe it's emails or team chats. In Microsoft Purview, we have something called e-discovery, and this tool allows you to search across all the different platforms and apps. Now, you need to have an administrative role in order to run a search, but it's a very simple process. When you want to search, you need to select the areas you want to search. For example, let's say you want to search in Exchange and Team. Then you could add a filter like a date and search specific for keyword. Well, this search is going to show a list of results, and you can take some type of actions like exporting the files and creating a report. Microsoft Purview provides 3 e-discovery solutions: Content Search, e-discovery Standard, and e-discovery Premium. Content Search uses the Content Search tool to search for content across Microsoft 365 data sources and then export the search results to a local computer. We have also the e-discovery Standard. This solution builds on the basic search and export functionality of Content Search by enabling you to create e-discovery cases and assign eDiscovery managers to specific cases. We have also the eDiscovery Premium. This solution builds on the existing capabilities in eDiscovery Standard. In addition, eDiscovery Premium provides an end-to-end workflow to identify, preserve, collect, review, analyze, and export content that is responsive to your organization's internal and external investigations. Now let's jump into the demo to see eDiscovery Standard. So let's log on to admin.microsoft.com. We go to compliance, and in compliance I will go to role and scopes, and I could access to permissions, so I select Microsoft Purview Solution rules, and I'm going to look for the eDiscovery. So I have the eDiscovery Manager, which is built-in type rule, and it gives me the group name and other information. I could edit it. I could choose users. So let me add, for example, Megan, and also mock admin. Once I added my users for this role, I'm going to review and add this role to these two users, and I have all the information related to the rules. So you could do case management, communication, compliance search. Then I could save it and review the role group and finish submitting it, and I could see that the rule in this role group has case management, communication, compliance search, and it could manage review set tags. I could see also scope manager, and I could see the two users, which is Maud and Megan, that exists. Now it has been added. I could now move on to eDiscovery. So I have the standard that we are going to look at. So I'm going to create a case, and I already have two. So I'm going to name it SC900 case, and I'm going to save it. Now I will access it, and we'll be able to add a hold on it. So I'm going to create a hold, give it a name, hold SC900. Then I'm going to choose location, either Exchange mailbox, and choose a users or group from this. So I could see all the users that I have. I could bring Adele in here. So I'm going to select Adele. Then I have the query builder and KQL editor. I could add also conditions, so I have different conditions that I want to configure if I want to. Then I will be reviewing the setting of this case, seeing the email, the query, etc., and submit the hold to be validated. Next, I have the search. I could add a new search. I add a name to my search and description. So here it's SC900 hold sales search. I provide the location if needed, and I'm going to put location, same location as hold. I could put a keywords for the query. So remember here we have search for sales. So I'm going to provide the condition as is required from this. So I'm going to put sales. Then I'm going to review what I have configured. If I'm okay with it, I will be submitting it. Now my search has been created. I could access it and see that the search is starting. So it's going to do the search. It's not completed yet. It's looking into the information as I acquire it. I have here the actions where I could edit my search, or I could copy, export the search. Now the search is completed. I could see that there is 3 items with 1.16 megabyte and 2 mailboxes. We have also the auditing solutions in Microsoft Purview. These help organizations respond effectively to security events, internal investigations, and compliance obligations. Thousands of users and admin operations performed in dozens of Microsoft 365 services and solutions are captured, recorded, and retained in your organization's unified audit log. Audit records for these events are searchable by security, ops, IT, admins, insider risk teams, and compliance and legal investigators in your organization. This capability provides visibility of the activity performed across your Microsoft 365 organization. Microsoft Purview provides 2 auditing solutions, Audit Standard and Audit Premium. For the Audit Standard, this solution is turned on by default for all organizations with the appropriate subscription, and it provides you with the ability to log and search for audited activities to power your forensic, IT, compliance, and legal investigation. From the other hand, Audit Premium builds on the capabilities of Audit Standard. Audit Premium provides longer retention of audit records with default of 1 year. Also, customized audit log retention policies. It provides intelligent insight and more bandwidth to access auditing logs through the Office 365 Management Activity API. This brings us to the end of Session 5. We have covered quite a bit of content today, right? We have spent some time learning about the Microsoft Purview and different tools that are available for your admins. Just think about a few of the different tools that we have looked at. We have looked at compliance management, information protection, and data lifecycle management, data governance, and audit. All of the information we have covered today, as well as the content in Part 1, will help you to prepare for the SC900 exam. All this content is available for free on Microsoft Learn at aka.ms/SC900. My recommendation is that you go through each of the modules in the learning path just one more time. Take these knowledge checks. This is a good chance for you to look into the area where you need further study. Again, if you are planning to take the exam, which I hope you are, you can expect about 40 to 45 questions on the exam. These are all multi-choice questions, and you won't have labs. And really, the focus of the questions is going to be to identify and describe the different services and concepts that we have covered in this course. You are going to have an hour to take the exam, So that's more than enough to make sure you read all the questions and also the available choices before choosing one of them. Now I know exam can be incredibly stressful, but I'm confident with these 2 sessions and the learning path, you're going to have everything you need to succeed. And finally, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for these 2 SC900 sessions. I hope you have learned something new and maybe now you have interest in learning more about security inside Azure and Microsoft 365. Good luck to those of you who intend to take the exam, and make sure to add these skills on your LinkedIn page and show your badge once you pass the exam. I hope to see you soon in another Microsoft Virtual Training Day, and goodbye everyone.